Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm G, and I am excited about today's video because I'm talking one of my favorite games of all time, Darksiders Genesis. Now, I played this last year and I've been putting off to doing the review on him because of several other videos that came up before it. But I finally got to the point that I finished the game. I'm happy with it, what I accomplished with it. I accomplished about 80% of it. I've only missed like 3 rewards or 3 trophies on PlayStation, but they were just taking too long to get, and I decided, okay, I'm happy with where I stand with it. I've beaten the Wicked Killington, which is the last one that I want to beat, and I am now ready to share my review with you. Now, first, a little personal story. I've been a fan of Joe Matt art for a long time. Joe Matt is the creative director at Syndicate Studios that created the Darksiders Genesis. And Joe Matt started working on comics a while back. He started with the Uncanny X-Men, then he moved on to his own publishing with Cliffhanger, I think it was, with his own story, which was Battle Chase. It was like this very Diablo-like, maybe, kind of universe, and I just fell in love with it. So when he turned to video games, it was really a godsend kind of thing. I played all the Darksiders from 1 to 3, and I enjoyed them all. I know the last one with Fury wasn't as polished, or it wasn't as entertaining or as fun as the other ones, and you didn't feel like this overpowered thing all the time like you did before, but I still enjoyed it. And then came Darksiders Genesis, this time going back to the original author, the creative director Joe Mad, and to Syndicate Studios, which is what the ones they made this game. I absolutely love everything about this. I love the aesthetic, I love the characters, I love the wit, the dialogues, the illustrations that were not done by him. It were done by another artist called Ludo Labi, and he mimics his art very well, very well. So I was stoked to play this. Also because this was the first game of the series that you can play in co-op, and that was amazing. Me and my brother have played all the games before, so we were stoked to play this one. And it was a lot of fun, but it brought with it a few problems also. Now, the advantage of this is you get to combine attacks a lot faster. This uses the Diablo, and we already played Diablo both together, so you can do combinations of attacks a lot faster and a lot easier, controlling both of the characters at one of a time. You can also bait enemies a lot faster, you can close enemies in quarters, you can attack from both sides. It's really good, and against bosses and against everything, it makes everything a lot easier. But there are some downsides. First of all is that you have a split screen all the time. It's not like in Diablo where you don't get a split screen, you just both characters always on the map. And I think that would work better in honestly. Even if you had a split screen, you should only have the split screen if the characters are really far apart, which doesn't happen. The characters can be one on top of the other, and you're still having that split screen all the time. And it poses problems, you know, when seeing enemies, especially bosses, when you're fighting bosses sideways, because this scenario now you can only see in one way, which is top and down, and if it goes left and right, you don't see them anymore, so it creates a little bit of a problem. Also, it's a problem when doing puzzles, because sometimes you have to, for instance, I had to pull a lever, and my brother had to pull another lever, and we couldn't see exactly where the levers was because I couldn't see his and he couldn't see mine. We didn't know how, at what time we were pulling. And there was another one where I had to throw like this explosive ball into a proper place, and I couldn't see that place because when he was moving around, it obscured the view from my camera. So it created sometimes this kind of problem, and I think they should have polished this a little bit more. I think they were more interested in doing this online experience. But for online experience, we both had to get the game and play the game, I think. You can just, you know, be one playing and the other one participating on another computer. We have to both be playing in the same machine, in this case in PlayStation. So yeah, it created a lot, some problems. It created some interesting synergies when doing puzzles, but it also created some problems when the camera wasn't in the right position. So yeah, it was a little bit tricky in that way. But it's always a lot better to play these games co-op than alone. That's for sure. Another thing that was really cool in this game is that you have now a map that shows you everything that you can possess or find in your travels. You don't have to like activate, get a certain item or activate a certain thing or finish the quest first or something like that. It's always there. You always know that, okay, there's something on that side of the map, or there's something up there. You may not be able to get it right now, but you can then replay the game and get it later. You can also replay it level by level, which is amazing. You know, you can do a level and then just do the difficulty and do the level again, and that is really helpful. You have a customizable tree, which is something that you didn't have before. You just have items that you put on, but here you can use the crystals that you get from enemies to build up your tree and be more powerful and get more perks for skills, for specials, and all that. There are lots of hidden items and hidden vaults that you have to earn keys to open. You can buy them for Vulgar Mothers, you will get them as you play the game. There's a lot of exploration in the game and a lot of replayability. You know, the scenarios are massive and they're always unique. Each boss and each level is unique. Each boss fight is unique, so there's no two are the same. And the mechanics that you have to understand from each level and for each boss are absolutely amazing. I love it. I love everything about it. There's also items that you will find that will upgrade your weapons and your potions and your abilities and your fury. Oh, and I forgot to mention that when you play co-op, the potions are actually divided between the two. So when one dies, he wastes a potion or a revive to do it, and then the other one doesn't have it. So it's, instead of having 6 for one player in this case, you have 3 for 2 players. That I didn't like as much, but you can then get several other upgrades during the game, and that will help you a lot during your quest. Quest that has wonderful characters and absolutely wonderful illustrations. I really enjoy like I said, I enjoy the artwork and I enjoy the characters and the wit of Strife against the, you know, more rigorous and severe look of war. I mean, they're really one complementing the other one. The story itself, it doesn't really expand itself as much. This is something that happened before the first game. It doesn't really tell us a lot, so it couldn't expand a lot of, you know, lore that we haven't seen before. But it was still a good experience, and I still enjoyed it. And I just wish there were more cutscenes, because there's only one right at the beginning, one cutscene with CG. The other ones are just panels. I was hoping that at the end I would get at least one more CG cutscene, you know, just to close everything, but sadly we don't get that. After you complete the game, or while you complete the game, there's also an arena where you fight several enemies, ones after the other. This can go on endlessly. It's a good way to just understand what your characters can do, what their powers can do, but also to get more items for your builds and for your experience. I only did it once or twice because I don't like to, you know, being stuck in that game mode over and over again. There is a award that you can get if you do like 70,000 points at it, but it's just really just for bragging rights. You don't really have to do it. It doesn't really bring something wonderful to the game. It's just more to expand the game's lifespan per se. This is a really cool game. I'm happy I played it. I played all the Darksiders and this was no disappointment at all. They were even, you know, bold enough to change the recipe from third-person slasher to isometric. I just hoped Diablo would do the same, and I hope that for this franchise, for Darksiders, and I've said this already in my Darksiders 3 review, I hope they make a third-person slasher 4-player co-op game. I really hope they do. I hope to see it. I hope they have the courage and the funding, and I'm stoked for it. This is a really good game. I recommend it, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and as always, have a great game, guys.
You will be cleansed.
Brother, a little help.
Trust me, you could use a bath. Oh, shit!
I guess we've been cleansed.